Hello, good afternoon, friends. Welcome to the Lioness Method podcast for female business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders who are passionate about growing their leadership skills, building amazing teams, and solving real life problems with a growth mindset. I'm your host, Nerrissa Hsu, and today we have the pleasure, the amazing honor of chatting with Isabela Hamliton. And Izabela is a keynote speaker, a business strategist, and an e-commerce influencer, a strong advocate for women's rights, and the founder and CEO of Rank Bell, a brand accelerator that helps Amazon businesses grow to 8 to 9 figures through driving keyword ranking and optimization. Established in 2015, Rank Bell is on track to achieve their mission of helping 1 million Amazon sellers grow their businesses by the year 2030. As a motivational speaker, Isabela is a leadership expert who delivers high-energy keynote presentations that challenge audiences to leverage their focus and pay attention to what matters most at work and in life. She works with individuals and organizations to amplify their communication, connection, and confidence so that they can make an influential impact on the world. She mentors with passion, guiding her clients to effectively strengthen and elevate their leadership vision to new heights. So please welcome Isabela. Hi.
Hi, thank you. I mean, listening to your own bio, it sounds like who is this person that she's talking about?
She's amazing.
Yes, I want to meet her. Who is this girl? She sounds amazing.
She does.
It's probably, one of those things because I feel like inside we're never really our inside catches up way too slow to who we have become, because, we keep doing work on ourselves every single day. So we advance, but in our minds, I feel like we're still kind of taking baby steps. And even like listening to that, I'm like, holy cow, like that sounds really cool. Who is that person? Because we never give ourselves enough love and maybe respect to believe that could be us. So anyway, I didn't know this was going to go there, but there you went.
Absolutely. No, we definitely got to give ourselves credit, and you have achieved so much. I'm super excited to dive into our questions today so our listeners can learn more about Rank Bell and your journey as an entrepreneur. So I'd love to start with who you serve and how you serve them.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I do help Amazon sellers, and actually I help multitude of sellers on different platforms. Whether anywhere that you can sell an item, I can probably help. So most of our clients are Amazon sellers because it is the biggest platform, and we do have the most clients. But we also serve like Walmart clients. We started recently doing Etsy. So there are different platforms that we can help. And what we do is we help take a product from the last page to the front page. And as we all know, being on the first page is very important these days because the competition is so fierce. So if you were to bring, product onto Amazon tomorrow, Amazon will place you at the bottom. And not for any particular reason, just because you don't have enough enough experience and enough trail on Amazon for them to put you first. So they put you at the bottom, and then you kind of have to work your way up. So my service comes in, and we help take that product from wherever it lands, and we slowly move it to page one by working towards the algorithm of Amazon. And it's been really amazing. It's been a journey. And, when people like ask me like, how in the world did you even get into that? It kind of, I kind of fell into it. I guess I was at the right time, right place is how people say it. But I think what kept me there was this curiosity that I've always had around Amazon, because Amazon is this like giant, platform that is not only serving everyone in US and other countries now, but it's actually creating a lot of millionaires these days.
Mhm.
A lot of people have lost their job during COVID, and Amazon has only increased even more. So that tells me that, there's a lot more eyes on online. There's a lot more people that didn't use an online platform such as Amazon, maybe, older generation, or maybe people that never even cared about having like an Amazon Prime account. That
Mhm.
has increased exponentially because we were kind of forced. A lot of people decided
Yeah,
to.
the pandemic.
Exactly. They stay home and they don't want to go to the stores. And then what happens is we start creating this habits, right? Now, even though it's easier now to go to the store, it's not like it was before where we were all, kind of scared and staying in the house. Now we're able to go to the store, but it's like, we kind of got used to it. It's like, you know what? Do I really need this item, or can you wait 2 days, And in my case,
Exactly.
I'm like, you know what? I can live without it for 2 days, even though I can literally walk probably to CVS from here,
Mhm.
and get whatever I need.
Well,
But
as a busy entrepreneur and working mom, right, that extra time to go to the store is invaluable. So I think we've almost been trained to just buy stuff online, even though I think a lot of us had an Amazon addiction prior to
of
prior
course,
to the
yes,
pandemic, but even
100%.
now I could see how it's grown exponentially for
Yeah,
sure.
and I love that. I want to be there when all these millionaires are created. I want to be there. I want to see what goes on in this world. And I was just lucky enough to stick it out, because it was very hard in the beginning, especially as a woman in business, um, and not necessarily towards the people that I work with, but more even so within myself, because at times I didn't think I could be as good as other people. And anyway, that's a struggle. I think it never really leaves. I think we always have to deal with that. Like, am I good enough to do this? Am I good
Yeah.
enough to do that? But yeah, it was definitely a struggle in the beginning, but I'm glad I stuck it out, because now people really got to know us. Our name is really out there now. We get all these
Yeah.
organic leads coming in all
So
the time. It's fantastic.
I'm going to jump in there because I just hear so many gems that you're dropping, and just kind of if we can go back just a little bit,
Yeah, please.
because
Yes.
because
I
you're
tend to ramble, so sorry.
it's okay. And if you don't mind, I'll just jump in and cut you off
Please.
when
Yes.
just so we can redirect a little bit, because you have such a great story. And I was reading some of the articles you were featured in. You've been in Forbes and in the London Times Daily. And your story is amazing. You came here from Romania and you're completely self-made. So what are some of the challenges that you needed to overcome in order to even get your business started?
Ah, how many hours do we have? I think one of the struggles, it's always, I think, within ourselves. And I don't know why I keep getting called to like saying these things, because I know a lot of people want to hear like strategic things and exactly what went wrong and how can we avoid that. But I don't know, maybe it's because I keep getting older, and the older I get, the more I realize that it's a struggle within myself that I have, rather than like outside ones. But of course there are physical struggles, like coming to another country from Romania. That was a struggle in itself, because when I came, it's been 18 years, I think now. It wasn't easy coming to US. Most of everyone got denied. Like, you would go to the embassy to get a visa and they would deny you. It's just how it was. They didn't want all these people immigrating or coming to the United States. So that was my biggest challenge. And once I accomplished that and I was able to come to US, almost like this little door opened. And I thought to myself, like, what else I can accomplish? What else is there? Because I knew this was so difficult to accomplish that if only I did this, I knew I could do more. But of course, then life sets in and you forget about all these great things that you achieve, and because now you're struggling with different things. But when it comes to business, I think one of the things that was really it had a big impact on me was actually starting a business. And I didn't even know I had a business, because I was just I was too in it. I was like, oh, what is that saying here? Like you can see the forest because of the trees or something.
Oh yes, you can't see
Yeah,
the forest from the
yeah.
trees
So I was so
yeah.
immersed into my business that I didn't realize I had an actual business. So for the longest time, people would just say, "Oh, go to Isabela. She has the service." It wasn't even a name. I didn't even the business didn't even have a name. So then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should give it a name. And this is when rank bells got created. So bell from my name and rank because that's what I do. I rank stuff. So together it's like, oh, it's so cute. And then, people started actually acknowledging me as a real business. So in the beginning, I didn't value myself as much as I could have. I didn't realize the value that I had. I was just so thankful even for the last dollar that I would make that I didn't know that my value is much higher. And
I think that's probably a common problem that a lot of people listening right now have, is just understanding what their value is.
Right. Like knowing your value. And everybody says, oh, know your value, you're this, you're that. But when you're in the weeds and you're the one doing it, it's harder to be like, oh yeah, I'm all that. But that comes with time. Of course, we want to speed that up, and we want to really reflect onto ourselves and actually, do a check-in maybe every week or maybe every month. Like, look how far I've come this month. And then every time you do that, you raise your value a little bit. But if we don't look at what we've accomplished, then it's hard for us to put value on ourselves. And that's when people start taking advantage of you. Maybe you have an absolutely amazing service or, something that you offer, but if you don't ask for your worth, you're not going to get paid what you are worth. So if you, people will always pay you at your value, at what you think your value is. So in the beginning, I had no value on myself. I was just happy with anything. If my price, let's say, was, $100 and somebody came to me and said 20, I was like, of course, I'll do it. It's money. This is what I was thinking. I was like, any money is better than no money. But it was a mistake that I did that, because every time I did that, I devalued myself. And not only that, but actually people could see that I'm devaluing myself. They would take advantage of that. And next time they would come with even bigger ask. But not only that, it wasn't even a money part. It was how they would treat me too at that point, because they're like, well, she takes this much. That means she doesn't have any value at all. So even they didn't put value on me, even though the service itself was extremely valuable, and it still is today. Today, of course, I ask like 3 times more the price than I used to back then. And now people have no problems paying that. But when it was so cheap, I would have all these battles all the time with these people. They would not, they would keep bringing the value down, and they would lower it. And today, again, I charge 3 times more, and, we barely ever have any.
I love that. I love that so much. And how did you, I think it'd be really interesting to explore that. Like, how do you think you bridge that gap? How did you bridge the gap from charging too little to being able to charge 3 times the amount? Because I know that you kind of said it a little bit about it being an internal process, but where did you have to start, and what was that leap for you that made that connection?
So I think it's just a decision. I don't think it's necessarily a process. I don't think it's like, oh yeah, you need about 3 months to get to this point. No, there's nothing like that. Even though, again, that's what probably most people want, because this is what I want. So when I say most people, I'm thinking again to myself, I would have loved for somebody to say, from this time you have 3 months, and in 3 months everything will be solved. No, it doesn't work like this. It's the decision that you take. So right now, if you're listening to this and in your heart you are charging way too little for your service, just decide from now on, I will only charge this amount because this is the value that I have on myself. And I know in our heads, automatically you're going to get things like, who do you think you are to charge this much? You don't have that much experience. You don't have this, you don't have that. It's like we automatically try to block ourselves. It's like it's our internal processes that are like, hey, remember, you're nothing. Remember. And all we have to do is, instead of trying to block all of that, like what our first intention is, and then suppress it. Let's put it this way. We try to suppress that. But instead of suppressing it, just say, you know what? Thank you for your thoughts and advice, little you, whoever is talking to me this way. I appreciate you. This may have served me in the past, and I am very grateful that you saved me from whatever. But I don't need saving anymore. I no longer am in that spot. So thank you for being there for me. This is a new step, a new process into my life. And now we are moving from charging $100 to charging $1,000. Let's do this. And when you take it like this and you don't suppress yourself, because every time you suppress things will bubble up and explode in your face. But you say, you know what? Thank you for that. And let's actually walk along together and let's see how we can bring a new normal. Let's raise a new normal. And then when you honor yourself and you give yourself this love, this extra love, then the decision will be faster. Of course, the idea will come like, well, you know what? I had problems getting clients at $100. Who's going to pay $1,000? This is not for you to worry. It's crazy. This is not your place. This is not for you to worry. All you have to do is to decide and put your intention behind it. And then
I love that. Just decide, make the decision, and then the door will open.
The door will open.
And I love that parallel, because we're actually just talking about this last week, right? About the book, The Big Leap. And it sounds exactly like that with so many women, female entrepreneurs that I work with, that are looking to break through that glass ceiling, right? Because they're already operating at a level of excellence. They're already making money. They're doing really well, but they hit a new level and they're like, okay, now I want to make $2 million. I want to make 5 and want to make 10. And so it's getting your mindset in order and behind so you can break through to the next level, right? So you're really operating in your high level of genius. And pushing through and it's all the mental clutter that you're describing, right? It's our own mental limitations that we have that keep us playing small and earning less. So I love all of those.
Yeah, and it's just something that we've been exposed to in the past, and we can't blame ourselves, because then we keep going to this circle of like, you know what, I'm not good enough, and no, you shut up, you like, we keep fighting within ourselves, and then in the end we're just so exhausted from thinking about these things that we don't want to do anything anyway. And then you go back, you know what, it's easier to continue the way I've done it, because at least I know I make a certain amount and it's fine. Like, who am I to ask anyway? Like, I don't want to go to the trouble, maybe looking for other clients. Like, we discourage ourselves. Literally, we 100%. Discourage ourselves from being at our most potential. And we all have so much potential. Like, it's unbelievable how much we have. And trust me, I fight with myself every single day on this. And it's like, and then I keep myself down, and then I break down, and then I cry, and then I'm like, why is my life so horrible? And then I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Trust me, nobody has it all together. Okay, we may look like we have it together, but I don't know one person that has it together, and I, at least, I don't have anything together. It may sound like
I think it's 100%, and there's so. Oh yeah, go ahead.
This is what's beautiful about our life, because without these parts, we wouldn't be able to enjoy our life. Nobody wants we all think we want this perfect life where money just comes in, everybody's happy, you walk into a room, everybody's laughing. It's like this perfect world that does not exist, and it would suck if it existed. If we had no ups and downs, we wouldn't be able to enjoy the ups. It would just be a very monotonous life. It would just be like, and then you die. No, like,
exactly. We need that growing edge, right? We need that challenge. Otherwise, it would be boring.
Even when we experience the worst possible moments, when you think the life is the worst, there is something behind that. There's a joy behind the fact that we get to even experience this in our bodies, that we get to, like, maybe your kid screamed at you or punched his grandma like my kid did the other day. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm the worst mom on the planet. But then, how lucky and blessed I am to even have a kid. Like, there's just so much to be thankful for. Like, how lucky I am that my mom is actually here. So there's so much behind everything that happens. It's not just like, okay, this happened, it was terrible, and now, let me beat myself to that because, my kid punched my mom in the face. Like,
absolutely. You have to have so much grace. You have to give yourself so much grace. We're all human beings in process, right? We're all in our different levels and stages of transformation, development, continuously, right? So it's just really being gentle with ourselves with that inner dialogue that you're describing. I would love to, and you've been giving us so many different gems. I love the things that you're sharing about mindset. But what are some things that really get you inspired, and what tools do you use to maintain your clarity? Because I know, as a working woman, that you juggle so many different hats. So how do you maintain that clarity and inspiration?
So, as I said, it's not always fun. It's not always like, oh, I'm zen every single day and I wake up and I just like money pours into my bank account. We all go through different things. And again, that's the beauty of it. But I think knowing where you're going, and for the longest time I didn't. And even sometimes now I wonder, is this the right way to go? But if you have at least some map of where you're going. So when I say that, I mean, okay, you don't necessarily have to know a whole business plan, but like, let's say you have a coaching business and, you see yourself in 5 years from now that you maybe have 100 coaches under you, you have 2 courses out, you have this, you have that. At least it doesn't matter. It's probably never going to work out the way you want it to. And it maybe shouldn't, because, the universe has other plans for you most of the time. But if you at least put up your GPS, you are walking towards something, either whether you go up or down or different directions, at least you're going towards something. Because if you don't, then you're kind of here, you're there, you're everywhere. You may even walk backwards and you won't know. So I think for me, especially right now in this moment of my life, I can see where I'm going. Again, it may take different variations. But I know, like, in a few years, this is where I want to be financially. In a few years, this is, I want to exit my company. So when you have that, and this is so important, and for the longest time, I didn't pay attention to this, and oh my God, it makes so much sense. Once you have that exit plan, that goal, everything else is kind of gonna unfold for you, like backwards. Is the weirdest thing. So like, and I shared with you and the other day, like I just had this idea, but it was because I decided that I will have a goal, that I am going towards something, that I want to sell my business in so many years. Once I decided that, it was like it just came to me. Not at that exact moment, but it came to me.
Yeah.
The math came to me. The road, the journey came to me. Again, it's not very clear, but it's like, now I know what to do. I have to do this. Of course, all this has different ramifications in itself, which can take different forms, but at least I know this is where I'm going. So, for somebody that's sitting at home, is like, okay, you know what? I want to start selling on Amazon. Start with the end goal in mind, which is crazy to do, because you're like, I don't even know how to sell on Amazon. How dare I? How dare I make a commitment that in so many years I'm going to do this? I'm telling you.
So what would your top 3 tips be for somebody who wants to start their Amazon business right now?
First of all, the best thing to do is actually go to YouTube. And I know it's kind of cliche, but go to YouTube and look at a lot of videos on how to sell on Amazon. And why I'm saying this, you could go the route of paying for a course, but they're quite expensive. They can start, 500 to all the way to 5,000, maybe even more. But what I don't want you to do is pay for a course and then realize that this is not even what you want to do. Selling on Amazon is not for everyone. It's not for me. I tried it. It's not for me. And this is literally what I work with every single day, because I am, my personality is different. I want to be out there. I want to be at conferences. I want to be the spokesperson for my company. I don't necessarily want to sell on Amazon because it's too, it's a lot of implementation and skills that I don't possess. And of course, before I would have been like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I can't do this. I can't do that. But now I came to realize that, we all have different skills. We all have different skills. We all have different likes. So if you are the kind of person that likes to deal with a lot of numbers and, a lot of like checking on stock and this and like all these little tiny details that require so much attention and focus, then this is perfect for you. For me, if I stare at a screen for 2 minutes, I'm like, I go crazy. Okay, give me something else to do. Like, almost, I
Yes,
will
very
explain like
outgoing.
ADD-ish. And this is how I see when I do Amazon. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to start selling on Amazon, make sure that this is something that you want to do. If you find yourself you're like 5 hours in watching YouTube's on videos on Amazon, you probably are gonna like that because but if you watch one video, you're like, this kind of sucks, or like, oh, this might not be for me. It may not be for you. Maybe something else is for you. But again, Amazon can be very profitable. So if you do want to try it, like, by all means, go for it. I mean, Amazon is here to stay. And even with so much competition that's out there right now, there's so much more room. I feel like we are just starting. Even though Amazon is like so big right now, I think the e-commerce, it's really just starting right now. I think we're going to look back in 10 years and be like, holy moly, I should have done something then. So, the tips that you asked, definitely make sure that that's something that you want to get into. Then if you do, then I would either suggest maybe get a mentor or actually pay for a course that can actually teach you the technicalities, like actually how to open an Amazon account, how to find suppliers from China or India, wherever you're going to source, how to do this. So these things are going to help you. And then 3, make sure you have enough money to invest in stock, because what happens is let's say you find this pen, right? You want to sell on Amazon, is doing really well, and then you're going to order 1,000 pieces from China. It takes about 2 to 3 months actually to get this whole process, bring them here. Then you start selling them, but the money that you make is going to be less than what you invested. But automatically you have to invest even more in the next stock and the next one. So you're not going to see returns for at least 6 months to a year, maybe more, till you actually see it turn around and actually give you profit. It's just how this works. So if you don't have money,
that's really good advice, because I think most people probably think, oh, I can just sell this and I'm going to make the money right away.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people preaching out there like, oh, this is like passive income. Amazon is not passive, guys. It's really, really it takes a lot. It takes a lot of your time, and also takes a lot of your nerves. And because Amazon is not the friendliest platform when it comes to being an Amazon seller. It's the friendliest when it comes to customer service, which made Amazon be the #1 platform in the world and the most successful one, because they are very customer driven. Like right now, Riz, like tomorrow, if you want to send in all the less than packages that you order from Amazon, they will accept them, no question asked. Like it will be like, oh, was that $500? Here's $500. They wouldn't even ask you anything. So they're very customer focused. Again, made them the best. So for those listening, I want you to remember this: be the best at customer service in anything that you do. In anything, follow this model. Now, when it comes to being an Amazon seller, Amazon doesn't really care about you that much. And I'm telling you straight up, because there's a lot of sellers who make like millions a month, and they're like, oh, Amazon would never do anything to me because I make the money. No, you're always going to be too small for Amazon. Amazon is like billions and billions now, and they make most of their money from AWS. Is like this system that they have. So yeah, Amazon sellers do make them money, but you're not really that important. So that's one negative part about Amazon. But if you stick with it, and if you're that kind of person that's like, challenges don't bother me, I will conquer every single one of them, then you will be successful on Amazon and you can make a lot of money.
I love that. It sounds like you have to be highly adaptable as well. It's very fast paced.
Yes.
Sounds like it's very fast paced. I know retail has always been, very. And I also love your point of customer service, because I think in everything we do, customer service has to be #1, because it's just all about the customer. Great. So what's the biggest challenge that you have right now with your business, that if it were solved, you would be able to earn more money or have more time or more freedom? And which one is more important to you right now?
So I think definitely buying back my time. And the way to do that is when you create systems, which I've never had in my business. Again, I kind of found myself into this business, and the business grew to a point where I can no longer hold it down by doing manual processes. And that's one thing that I didn't know about. I kind of invented this business. It just came with me. And, I didn't have like a mentor or anything to guide me. And I got to a point where it's like, for me to scale it, I will need to implement some systems. So I know if I'm able to do the systems and operations, then it will free up my time and I would be able to attract more clients. Because right now I would be so scared to even do an ad. I've never done an ad. I know I can. I know there's a lot of people I could serve. I know there's thousands of sellers that could benefit from my service. I know that. But the way my system works right now, it would be impossible for me to bring them on because my system will crash, because we do everything manual. So if you send me 1,000 sellers tomorrow, yeah, I'll make a lot of money, but then I will crash on this side, and then my business will die. So I know if I do this, which I am planning to do, I already started at least the process of it. I know I can probably get there this year, and then I can take on a lot more business.
So it sounds like you're in the process of looking at which parts of your business you can automate, and
correct.
Yeah, kind of taking yourself out. I love that. I was speaking to somebody a couple weeks ago that was like, when we start our businesses, it's ideal if we can kind of structure things in a way that we can kind of organize ourselves out of it at the end, like having the game plan or the end in sight, kind of like what you were describing earlier, right? If we have a decision on where we ultimately want to end up with it, then it's easier to kind of backtrack it. So I love that.
Thank you.
Good. And I know that we're getting up to the end here. I know you got to go, and I really appreciate you spending this time with us. So the last question would be, what's your biggest win been recently?
We have, I feel like I have small wins every single day. I think just my biggest win is probably not giving up, because it's so easy to give up. It's so easy. Riz, I want to give up almost every day. Like, I wanted to give up yesterday, and I wanted to give up on Friday. I wanted to give up every single day. I'm like, you know what? And I think for a second, I'm like, it would be so nice. Like, I wouldn't have to. But then I'm like, yeah, forget about that thought. So I think keep coming back.
I love that.
Keep coming back to it and say, you know what, I'm doing this for a reason. I actually love what I'm doing. Like, try to tell yourself all the reasons why you want to keep going, because a lot of entrepreneurs fail because they decide to give up. They decide it's easier not to. And trust me, it's so much easier not to. It's so much easier just to like relax in bed. But then you are going to take that with you for the rest of your life. And that's going to have its own implications. Like, you know what, like, you're going to start feeling like a failure. Oh, well, I gave up on that. So next time you decide to do something, it will be even easier to give up. It's like we tell ourselves, we guide ourselves. So every time I tell myself, hey, remember to meditate today, and I don't do it, then tomorrow it will be easier for me to say no, because I'm already on a bad streak. It's like eating bad food, But then what we don't realize that has an even more impact is our internal GPS, because every time I say no, then I also dishonor myself, and I also am disappointed in myself, and that doesn't come out easier. You don't know what's wrong. You just start feeling like depressed, and you start feeling all these side effects, but you don't really know why. You just have this feeling of like, something is wrong, but you can't point at it. You don't know. I don't know if those who are listening, have you ever feel this way, but it's like, man, something feels bad, but I don't know what it is. It's all these guilt that we putting inside ourselves. So every time I tell myself I'm going to do this and this, but I don't do it, I am disappointing myself. And then I keep piling it up on top. And then one day I just explode and I start crying, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so depressed. And most people will go get pills or something, but it's recognizing the small things that we do that will help us. Like, just face it. Like, okay, what have I done? Okay, I didn't do this. Okay, let's start fresh. Like, I will meditate today, or I will make my bed today, or I will wash those dishes that have been waiting for like a week. Whatever it is. Um, just start doing it at that time. So I think, not giving up on myself and showing up every single day. I think that is key to all success. I am not, and I tell this all the time. I am not smarter than most people. I wish I was. I wish I was. I'm not taller. I'm not more this. I'm not more that. It's just me. But what I do differently than others, I keep showing up regardless. I keep showing up whether, yesterday I had a bad day, whether, my kid punched my mom in the face, whether this, whether that. Like, I keep showing up. And it's as easy as that, as not giving up. Keep showing up for yourself.
I love that. I love that so much. And I think exactly what you're describing too is we have, just like we put money in the bank, is we're always watching the dollars, right? We're always watching that bank account go up and down, investments, whatever it is. But we have to see our self-care as an investment, that we have a self-care bank, we have a wellness bank, right? And what you're describing is doing your meditation, you're putting money in your self-care and your wellness bank, and that it's not optional for women that are in leadership, that are running businesses, that are running teams, that are taking care of families in many different ways, that it's an investment in our health and our sanity that is vital for our survival out here. Because
it really is.
I love that. Well, where can the listeners find you? What's the best way to get in touch with you if they're interested in learning more about Rank Bell or any of the other services that you provide?
Yeah, so best and easiest way is Facebook. I'm, pretty much always there. Just my name, Isabela Hamliton, or my website, rankbell.com. But yeah, they can all send me a message if they have any question in regards to anything, whether it's mindset or, anything. I will be happy to chat with them.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you again spending this time with us and dropping all those gems. And I learned so much about Amazon today, and really just how to qualify it, like whether it's a good fit.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And we can do this anytime you want. I know today I have another event after this, but yeah, let me know when you would like me to come back, and we can do an extended version, whatever you want.
Wonderful. No, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Great. And in closing, just to the listeners, I want to thank you so much if you've been listening all the way through today. And as usual, I'd love to invite you to come to the Breathwork Circle. It's every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We'll be having it tomorrow night. And you can find me at breathewithriss.com and sign up. Come check it out. It's part of keeping our mental fitness going, and just so we can continue to serve and be at our best.
And one thing, I did it with Riss one night, and I experienced something out of this world. I've never done a breath work before that, and let's just say if I was to choose one word, it would be magic. It would literally what I can call it, because I've never experienced anything like it before. And I don't want to say exactly what happened, just because I don't want to like change anybody's idea of it coming in, but just know that what you will experience, it will blow your mind. Let's just put it, let's just leave it at that. I left my class thinking like, holy cow, I'm definitely in the matrix right now. So please go to her class, please. And I'll
thank you.
See you guys there.
I certainly appreciate that. And yes, it is. It's magical. And it is kind of like describing to somebody who's never had chocolate what chocolate tastes like. You're like, It's really good. It's amazing. You're going to love it. So just come and check it out.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Bye for now. Stay connected, be kind, and stay light.
Thank you.